Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from the campus of Byrd Middle School in Walpole, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the hosting Timberwolves of Walpole High School and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. It's a interdivisional contest here today. Brookline from D1, Walpole from D2. The Timberwolves come into this contest with a 3-4-2 overall record, and in the latest power rankings, which came out this morning, Walpole ranked 18th in Division 2. You can see them over on our right with the dark blue jerseys with white jersey numbers and orange stripes. Brookline, meanwhile, in the latest rankings, they had an overall record of 4-6, ranked 12th in the power rankings in Division 1. Took a bit of a tumble in the power rankings after suffering a tough upset loss to Chelmsford on Saturday. So Brookline hoping to bounce back here against Walpole. We're trying to move through the warm-ups as Brookline took a little bit of time getting here, had some busing issues, and traffic between Brookline and Walpole can be really tough. So really quick, let's go through the rosters coming into today's game. We'll start with the hosting Walpole High Timberwolves. Going in order, first off, we have Walpole's two goalkeepers, a senior, Lucas Langone, and a sophomore, Jack Towers. Then in order of jersey number, first off, we have a freshman, number 2, Eli Tillinghast. Next, a sophomore, number 3, Silas Tillinghast. A sophomore, number 4, Davis Potter. A junior, number 5, Alberto Daya. A junior, number 6, Hani Hussaini. A senior, number 7, Nathan Giffen. A junior, number 8, Peter LaRusso. A senior captain, number 9, Michael Corrigan. A senior captain, number 10, Thomas Jarvis. A senior captain, number 11, Nate DeMartinis. A senior, number 12, Ryan Lunn. A senior, number 13, Dominic Pompeo. A senior, number 14, Andrew Miles. A senior, number 15, Bernard Lessard. A junior, number 17, Brandon Ward. A junior, number 19, Austin Feener. A senior, number 20, Andy Kurticki. A senior, number 21, Dante Del Pico. A freshman, number 22, Neil Mepani. The slight out of order as one of the jersey numbers had to be changed. A junior, number 16, Sean Hazel. A junior, number 24, Scott Falvey. And a senior, number 27, Johan Terziski. Head coach of the Walpole High Boys soccer team is Lee Delaney. So that's the roster for the Walpole High Timberwolves. Now let's take a look over on the left in their white jerseys and dark blue jersey numbers with the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number again, first off we have a senior, number 4, Rohan Brown. A senior, number 5, Oliver Stern. A sophomore, number 6, Santi Sierra. A freshman, number 7, Jeffrey Dong. A sophomore, number 9, Nico Liteplo. A senior captain, number 10, Eamon Bochel. A senior, number 11, Sebastian Spinelli. A senior, number 12, Gabe Spaggett. A senior, number 13, Henry Ames. A senior, number 14, Jason Rabat. A senior, number 15, Sebastian Cuervo. A junior, number 16, Jack Fitzgerald. A junior, number 17, Grady Ames. A junior, number 18, Ben Speicher. A sophomore, number 19, Travis Applebaum. A sophomore, number 20, Koya Nicoli. A senior, number 22, Liam Alcalay. A senior, number 23, Tony Zhang. A sophomore, number 24, Wally Lawrence. A sophomore, number 27, Jonah Lipman. A junior, number 28, Nate Lockwood. A sophomore, number 30, Jacob Friedman. A senior, number 31, Eli Traub. A sophomore, number 98, Alex Magula. and a senior captain, number 99, Jackson McGee. Head coach of the Brookline High boys soccer team is Kyle Bolu-Jones. So that is the roster for Brookline here today. Thank you all once again for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming sports live streams. And of course, if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. You know, it could be as simple note as "Go Brookline" or "Go Warriors." Maybe you want to give a shout out to your favorite player specifically. Maybe you're watching a family member or a friend. Maybe you want to let us know where you're tuning in from. That's always fun with these online live streams that can be watched all over the world. Or maybe you notice some technical difficulties going on with the live stream, either with the video or the audio. It might be something I don't notice on my end, and it might be something that's an easy fix, so don't hesitate to say something. And then, of course, if I'm messing up any of the names that I just read out for the rosters, I encourage you to correct me on that. So we are definitely looking at a delayed start. I know I think originally on the schedule this was slated for a 4 p.m., but then more recently it was slated for 4:15, and then even for the 4:15 start time, that didn't end up happening. I was actually originally slated to cover the JV game today, but that game somehow got canceled. And so they asked me, hey, can you cover varsity instead? And I was like, works fine for me. So it looks like they're letting them have the full warm-up time. So, seems like even if we had slated for a 4:30 start time, we'd be starting a little late. Well, as warm-ups continue, let's at least take a look at how the season's gone so far for these teams. For Brookline, they opened their season with a 2-0 loss to Framingham, then lost a 1-0 shutout to Newton South. Bounced back nicely with a 4-1 win on the road against Natick. Had their first home game 4 games into the season and suffered a 2-0 loss to Needham. Bounced back again with a nice 4-1 win against Wellesley, and then made it a bit of a streak with a 3-2 win against Newton North that conquered Carlisle as part of the Kicks for Cancer event. Brought their record up to an even 3-3. But since then, lost 2-1 on the road against Needham, lost 2-1 on the road against Braintree, pulled off a 1-0 win at home against Weymouth, and then suffered a tough home loss to Chelmsford 3-1. I don't know what just happened. The Wi-Fi just out of nowhere kind of crapped out. Okay, looks like it's maybe recovering. Okay, not yet. Boy, this is a little frustrating. It was operating just fine before, and now even before the game has even started, we're experiencing some issues. But hopefully this won't be a long-lasting problem here. As always, I am recording this broadcast while I'm live streaming it, so if the live stream ends up coming through real bad, then I'll have a recording I can upload later tonight. But it looks like it's steadied itself, and so our wait continues. It looks like we got captains meeting at midfield, so we soon should be getting this game underway. As they're just deciding which side each team's going to take in which half and who's going to get the opening kickoff. You know, like I said before, it's been a season of ups and downs for Brookline so far. Bit of a streaky season at times. They lost their first 2 games, then won 3 of their next 4, but then lost 3 of their next 4, which currently leaves them at 4-6. And the most recent loss, a particularly tough one, as they lost at home against Chelmsford. Brookline came into that game ranked 6th in Division 1, while Chelmsford, I believe, was ranked 45th. And Brookline ended up losing that one 3-1, which has dropped them 6 spots down in the power rankings, down to 12th in the latest power rankings that came out this morning. Walpole, meanwhile, in Division 2, ranks 18th in the most recent power rankings with a record of 3-4-2. Well, at the very least, it is a lovely late afternoon, early evening here in Walpole. You know, temperature is starting to chill a little bit, but still hovering at a nice, comfortable 60 degrees. It's been a bit overcast today, a bit cloudy, which, as we get later into the day, can potentially have a noticeable impact on visibility, especially once we get into later minutes of the game. But right now, he's still got sunlight poking through the clouds, which is good, as we've got no lights out here at Bird Middle School, so they want to make sure they get this game finished before it turns dark, and it looks like we soon will. Warm-ups are wrapping up, teams heading back to the benches, and we will soon be getting this one underway. From Bird Middle School, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Coming up, Brookline versus Walpole, Warriors versus Timberwolves. You are watching Brookline High Soccer. Goes in, deflecting across. Corralled by Brookline. Shot is in! Shot saved by McGee! Clear is taken by Bochelle. Bochelle sends a shot through. Bochelle scores! But we will soon be getting this one underway. See the Warriors huddled up, getting ready to go. I know it's been a bit of a wait since we started this stream. And so out onto the field come the Warriors starters. And then on the other side, the Walpole Timberwolves getting ready to go. Among the Brookline starters, you can see Oliver Stern, Eamon Boschel, Wally Lawrence, Jackson McGee, Nate Lockwood. I believe I saw Henry Ames in there and Jason Rabat. And some others that are just mixed into the huddle there. As they break the huddle, we can also see number 23, Tony Zhang. I believe I see number 27, Jonah Lippman, who I don't think I've seen starting in previous games. We see some other regular starters, Sebastian Cuervo and Sebastian Spinelli. First possession is going to go to Walpole, who will be playing from our right here in the first half. Starting things off with number 4, Davis Potter. Here we go. The pass goes back to Silas Tillinghast. Now out to the near side to number 22, Neil Mepani. Tries a pass, broken up, but still being scrummed for, and ultimately loose ball recovered by Nate Lockwood. Pass it back to Tony Zhang, who pops it up in the air. Hard collision for the ball. It's knocked forward, kicked away by Walpole's number 10, Thomas Jarvis. Kicked right back by Zhang. A few deflections. Henry Ames winds and fires, but it's walled off by number 6, Hani Husseini. Sebastian Cuervo sends a pass up near side for Wally Lawrence. Lawrence dribbling through the middle, sends a pass, skips just past Sebastian Spinelli. And he chases it down, keeps it in bounds. Pass is back, intercepted by Silas Tillinghast. Important to note, we are playing on grass as opposed to the usual turf you see at the varsity level. And so that's going to affect how fast the ball moves. As that pass intercepted by Jason Rabat, he sends it forward for Henry Ames, and it's stolen away by Husseini. Husseini dribbling up the near side, kicks it up the line, knocked down by Oliver Stern. Rabat swoops in, kicks it back to number 27, Jonah Lippman. Lippman kicks it forward. It is recovered and booted away by number 12, Ryan Lunn. Race for the ball goes off Lippman's head. Recovered out far side by number 19. Tries a crosser, knocked out of bounds by Lippman. That was Austin Feener with the attempted crosser. He was aiming to find Davis Potter in the middle, but instead draws the corner kick. First corner kick of the day going to be taken by number 3, Silas Tillinghast. From the far side corner. Tillinghast lining up as a lefty. Kick comes in low and knocked down by Zhang and kicked out to the far sideline. Deflected down by Tillinghast out to a teammate who lifts it across, off ahead, but too far away, and it's taken easily off one hop by the Brookline keeper, Jackson McGee. Long punt is knocked down and collected by Lockwood, sent to the outside to Spinelli. Spinelli tries to kick forward, and off a couple hops it is taken by the Walpole keeper, who I assume is Lucas Langone. Punts this one across midfield. High bouncer off the head of Stern, off the head of Rabat. A bit of a hard collision. We got a player down. And it is Walpole's number 10, Thomas Jarvis, down with an apparent head injury. Both he and Rabat went up for the header and bonked noggins. And so you know he's going to be coming out of the game, probably going to be checked on through concussion protocol just to be absolutely safe, because you don't want to take any chances with head injuries. So Jarvis up on his feet, walking off on his own power, still holding his head. Certainly hope he is okay in the long run. No matter who you're rooting for, you never root for an injury, especially not at the high school level. So because of the play was stopped while the ball was still live, this is going to be a drop ball. This is not going to be a full free kick. Yes, so this will be a drop ball. It'll be dropped in front of Rabat, but then play will immediately resume. Kicks it up the line to Lawrence. Lawrence winds and launches a kick across the middle. Bounces, and it's going to be chased down by Spinelli. Spinelli battling along the baseline. Far side, gets tripped up and draws the penalty. So going to be a very interesting angle for a free kick here for Brookline. Very close to where a corner would be taken, as Eamon Bochelle lines up Spinelli. Seemed like he might have been flanking him, but it is just going to be the lone kicker. Bochelle sends it in high, headed away by the Walpole defense. I believe that was number 12, Ryan Lunn, who got his head on it and cleared that one away. Penalty is called on Brookline there, and it's going to be a free kick now for the Timberwolves. It's sent out near side, just barely kept in bounds by the efforts of a racing Nathan Giffen. Now sent up the line and stolen away by Rabat, and a weird ricochet. And it is called Brookline ball as Rabat throws it in up the line for Ames. Ames touches it forward, couldn't keep it in bounds. It bounces just out of bounds before Lawrence could take it. And it will be Timberwolves ball. Throw in coming from Mepani. Throw in disrupted, stolen away by Bochelle. Now kicks one through to the middle, deflected and kicked away by, I believe, number 5, Alberto Daya. Now booted upfield by Walpole, down the far side and out of bounds. Brookline ball. Zhang throws this one in to Spinelli. Now sends it back to Zhang, who pops it up high in the air. Bounces over everyone. Racing in to take it is Ames. Ames trying to dribble through traffic. Gets wrapped up, and it's kicked away. It's knocked further back. Still being knocked back and kicked forward by Littman, but taken back by Walpole. Now a double team takes it back, but it's stolen right back. I think that's number 21, Dante Del Pico. Kicked upfield, and it's going to be corralled by McGee. McGee rolls it into Stern. Stern sends it up the middle for Sebastian Cuervo. Cuervo dribbling, sends it out to Ames on the near side. Ames lifts one forward. Cuervo racing for it, kicked away by Hosseini. Now stolen back by Spinelli. Spinelli fires, walled off by Lunn. Off the head and kicked forward by Feener. And it's going to bounce out of bounds and be Brookline's ball. No score here in the first half. We got no scoreboard clock here, so our only determination in terms of time left is we'll know when there's no time left when the officials blow their whistles. Brookline trying to move the ball, knocked away. Sent forward, disrupted by Zhang, gets it to Cuervo. Cuervo lifts a long leader off the head of Mepani, but then kicked forward by Boschel, knocked away again by the Walpole defense, sent forward by Del Pico. Lippman going to cut this one off and send it back to McGee, who lifts it out far side. Fiener gets a foot on it. Scrum for the ball, knocks it forward, and it's kicked away by Cuervo. Now Del Pico and Ames both fighting for the ball. It's knocked out of bounds, Brookline ball. Ames throws it in for Nate Lockwood. Popped up in the air by Del Pico, out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in off the head of Ames, couldn't get it to Spinelli, out of bounds. Throw in off the head of Zhang, Lockwood battles with Fiener. Fiener kicks it forward, gets it to Potter. Potter sends it back, kicked up in the air, back and forth, and booted up in the air by Zhang, out of bounds. Oh, excuse me. Throw in for Walpole, kicked back forward by Zhang. Battle for the ball. Cuervo sends it back to Zhang, who sends it forward to Cuervo. Cuervo avoids one defender, passes away from Tillinghast, back to Stern, who sends it up near side, intercepted. Stolen back by Lockwood, pass to the middle to Boschel, sends it back for Rabat, who boots it upfield. It's booted right back by Daya, corralled by Giffen. Giffen stays with it despite the pressure, passes back to Mepani, now up to Tillinghast. Tillinghast dribbling around the middle, sends it back to Mepani. Further back to Daya. Daya sends it up the middle, intercepted by Lockwood. Lockwood takes off, gets around one defender, kicked away by Lunn. Out far side to Fiener. Fiener pass, and Del Pico boots it upfield, bounces past Stern, but stopped by Rabat. Rabat kicks it upfield. Back kick from Cuervo goes off ahead, controlled by Tillinghast. Tillinghast dribbling near side, trying to get through multiple defenders and cannot. Taken away. This is Rabat. Rabat dribbling. Lifts it forward for Spinelli. Offside's called. It was a nice idea by Brookline, but would have needed very, very precise timing in order to make that pass work. Free kick coming up for Walpole, and it's going to be taken by Daya. Kicks it across midfield over the head of Lawrence, collected by Giffen. Giffen pass, knocked away by Stern, gets up to Ames, and out to Lawrence, who lifts a high one. No offsides, off a couple heads. Daya heads it away. Lockwood corrals it. Pass to the outside for Zhang, disrupted by Fiener. Zhang still fighting for it. Fiener goes down, and the penalty is called. Free kick for Walpole. Long kick, off ahead. Rabat kicks it. Goes down off ahead, back to Daya. Daya dribbling, stolen away. Or no, it was passed back, and the pass might have been slightly deflected, but Langone rushes out and kicks it away. Now a touch pass from Potter out to the outside. Fiener collects it, met by the defense, but he jukes out, dribbles in, crosser to the box, deflected slightly by Stern and booted up in the air by Lawrence. And now kicked upfield by Zhang, up to Spinelli. Spinelli dribbling, cuts towards the middle, pass to Boschel. Boschel gives it to Cuervo, forward to Spinelli. Spinelli can't get around Daya. It's recovered by Cuervo. Pass back to Stern. Stern winds and boots it forward, and Ames wide open, which a lot of times means offsides. Daya now taking the free kick. Upfield to Tillinghast. Tillinghast sends it out to Mepani. Mepani pass up, broken up by Cuervo. That pass broken up by Lunn. And off the deflection, it's recovered by Tillinghast, who sends it back to Langone. Langone comes out and passes it over to Tillinghast. Tillinghast trying to get around Boschel and Lawrence, and passes forward off the head of Potter, off the head of Giffen, into open space, off the head of Lippman. Over the back kick by Cuervo, recovered by Tillinghast. Disrupted by Ames, recovered by Cuervo. Cuervo jukes, looking, sends it up the line to Lawrence. Lawrence dribbling against Mepani, trying to gain the edge. Lawrence crashing in, shot goes wide, just didn't have the angle. They say it was deflected by Mepani, though, and this is going to be Brookline's first corner kick. I mean, technically, they did have one free kick that was very similar to a corner kick, but this, their first official corner. Boschel sets up on the near side corner. We had a couple substitutions on both sides in the meantime. Kick sails in. Header saved by Langone. I believe that was Lawrence who got a head on that one, but just too far away. And good eyes by Lucas Langone to make that save as he punts this one across midfield. The sun really coming out through the clouds, shining right in the faces of the Timberwolves. As Cuervo now boots this one high. Collected by Boschel, no offsides. Turns around. Trying to fake out Lund. Sends a crosser knocked away by Daya. Knocked back down by Lippman. Gets to Cuervo. Sends it back to Rabat. Rabat pops it high in the air. Deflected down and booted away by Mepani. Off the head of Giffen and Potter. Potter racing in, knocks over Rabat, and the penalty is called. Stern sends the free kick back to McGee, who boots it far side. Out to Spinelli. Back to Zhang. Zhang fakes and now passes up the line. Back to Lockwood and back up to Spinelli. Spinelli racing up far side, but he's cut off, but he disrupts the clearing kick of Daya and recovers the ball. Dribbling away, looking for space. Daya still in pursuit. Spinelli sends one to the middle. Intercepted, knocked away by Tillinghast. Spinelli still pursuing again, knocking through, forcing his way through, lost his footing, and it's taken away by Walpole. Clearing kick, walled again. Lockwood passes it outside to one of the substitutions, Koya Nicoli, who passes it through to Cuervo. Cuervo sends it forward, misses Boschel, and it's scooped up by Langone. Langone boots it off a couple heads. It deflects down near side. Chased down by Lawrence. Lawrence pass to Cuervo. Cuervo looking for where to go. Sends it back to Rabat. Rabat knocked out of bounds by Giffen. Throw in to the middle to Lockwood. Lockwood back to Lippman. Lippman sends it forward to Lockwood. And back to Zhang. Across to Cuervo. Cuervo back to Stern. Stern forward, gets to Nicoli, and then outside to Rabat. Rabat launches a kick deflected by Giffen, and it's going to be a race to the ball, and Langone with the presence of mind to kick that, knowing he wasn't allowed to pick it up as it was outside the box, so he kicks it out of bounds. Lawrence throws it in towards the box, bouncing. Spinelli couldn't quite corral it, and it's kicked forward by Feener. Zhang recovers. Long kick, saved by Langone. Langone punts it off the back of Giffen. Knocked away from Potter by Cuervo, but Giffen pushes it forward. Now booted out by Lippman. It's a big pursuit by Nathan Giffen, who is now going to sub out along with Potter and one more, I think, as a few new players come in. Among them, returning to the field, is Thomas Jarvis. Good to see him after he left with what appeared to be a head injury, but clearly he has cleared the concussion protocols and is allowed to come back in. So that's nice to see. Near side throw in. Downed by Rabat, controlled by Nicoli, back to Cuervo, and up in the air, upfield. Off the head of Lunn, deflects forward and is kicked right back. Now Daya passes out to Mapani, who sends it up the line. Jarvis racing after it, but Cuervo gets the favorable deflection out of bounds. Brookline ball. You got a substitution coming in for Brookline, number 17, Grady Ames, replacing Nate Lockwood. Rabat throws it in. Deflected down by Lawrence. Lawrence double teamed and Tillinghast knocks it away. Mapani passes to Tillinghast. Now over to Daya and back to Tillinghast. Tillinghast sends it way upfield. And McGee calls for it and snags it just inside the box. Drops it for himself and boots it upfield. Off the head of Lawrence and forward. Mapani going to be first to this ball. And Lawrence took a swing at the ball, missed and hit leg, and that's going to be a penalty every time. Ryan Lunn will take this free kick for the T-Wolves. Up high, knocked down. Daya pushes it forward. Now sent a errant pass is chased down, but Spinelli applying forward pressure turns into a bit of a scrum for the ball, and Zhang recovers it, passes up to Spinelli. Spinelli still trying to dribble through very tight windows, keeps the ball, still keeping it, now passes to the middle to an open Cuervo. Cuervo now swarmed and touches it back to Zhang and draws a penalty. Free kick to be taken by Cuervo from around midfield. Sends it in high. Off the head of Nicoli and saved by Langone. Another save off a header by Lucas Langone keeps us scoreless here in the first half. Punts it. Bounces off the head of Zhang. Almost downed by Del Pico, but he lost his footing. Knocked away, but it is recovered by number 15, Bernard Lessard. Daya passes over to Tillinghast. Tillinghast touches it out to Mapani. Mapani dribbling, pass through the middle, knocked away by Stern. And knocked out of bounds off Mapani. Lawrence rushes the throw in for Bochel. Bochel tries a kick, and it misses wide. They say deflected at the last second by the defense, and this will be another Brookline corner. Defense crashed last second. And so now a corner kick coming up. It'll come from Bochel, far side corner. Signal, kick, high but shallow. Off the head of Tillinghast. Bicycle kick is walled off, but it's still in the box. It's recovered by Stern. Stern crosses it high, and it's knocked away before Lawrence could kick it. A couple of big defensive plays by Walpole. I believe it was Thomas Jarvis who walled off the bicycle kick attempt as he was standing next to Langone. Brookline trying to push it forward again. And it's knocked out of bounds by Brookline. It'll be a Walpole throw-in. Excuse me. Throw-in. Kicked away by Lippman. Gets up to Lawrence. Lawrence pass back to Rabat. Rabat dribbling, sends it forward to Lawrence. Touches it out to Cuervo. Cuervo sends it forward, bouncing along. Ames couldn't corral it completely. Shot by Spinelli, saved by Langone. That one was a bullet, and Langone cleared out by Walpole, and penalty called on Lippman. Free kick coming from number 11, Nate DeMartinis. Kicks forward, deflects, and is booted away by Brookline, knocked back by Lunn. Over the head, now headed by Lippman, deflects several ways. Stern tries to clear, it's deflected down, but chased down by Nicoli. Pass to Rabat, up the line, gets to Lawrence. Lawrence gets tangled up as his cleats got tangled with Dante Del Pico. Brookline rushing the free kick back to McGee, who sends it across to Lippman. Lippman forward, intercepted, knocked away. Pass back to Tillinghast now. Tillinghast sends it forward, intercepted by Stern. Stern sends it forward, intercepted by Walpole. Dribbling through was number 11, DeMartinis. It's stolen away by Cuervo. Cuervo to the near side to Lawrence. Lawrence past the middle, Bochelle. Ball ricochets several different ways, rolls out of bounds. And it'll be Brookline ball as a substitution comes in for the Warriors. I believe that's number 13, Henry Ames, checking back into the game, replacing Wally Lawrence. Rabat throws it in, looking for Bochelle. Bochelle does collect it, but he's got a defender on his back, two defenders on his back, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Brookline ball. Rabat setting up to throw this one in, might just send it straight into the box. And he does. Headed away by Del Pico and booted up in the air by, I believe, Hosseini. Off head, collected by number 8, Peter LaRusso. Passes it to the outside. DeMartini sends it forward. Zhang is first to get there and passes it back to McGee. McGee boots it away despite the forward pressure. Hard battle for the ball, and they're going to call the penalty on Tillinghast. Walpole arguing the call, and I can kind of understand because it seemed like the Brookline player initiated the contact first, but you know, the officials are watching a lot of action going on, and you know, in any sport, their calls are going to tend to favor whichever player falls down. It's part of why flopping becomes such a prevalent thing in different sports. Free kick coming from McGee, popped up in the air. Off ahead, sliced the wrong way off a foot. Now they're scrumming for it. Nicoli comes out with it. Nicoli still fighting. Nicoli, the shot saved by Langone. Still in the box, and Langone punches it away. Spinelli chases it down on the far side, dribbling in the corner. Looking for somewhere to go. Passes back to Zhang. Zhang crosser into the box, headed away. Stern comes out and takes it, winds and fires, and it's caught out of the air by Langone, who's having himself a game so far. Punted. And over the back call on Zhang is going to give a free kick to the Timberwolves. DeMartinis is setting up to take the free kick, or is it actually Daya? It's actually going to be Daya. Daya kicks it off the head of Stern, but still in the box. Nicoli boots it forward, gets to Spinelli. Spinelli trying to fend off the defense. Knocked away, stolen, pass to an open Jarvis. Offside's called. Free kick coming for Brookline, still scoreless first half. McGee boots it forward over the head of the defense. Bochel's waiting. He fires a shot, and it's taken off one hop by Langone. Langone punts it. Bouncing along. Littman heads it. Out far side and chase it down himself, trying to fight through the forward pressure. Zhang there to back him up, and he boots it away. It's knocked back, downed. Nicoli pops it up in the air to himself. Knocked back to Cuervo. Cuervo dribbling up the far side. Gives it to Spinelli. Spinelli swarmed by the defense, and it's stolen away, I think, by Lassard, but then knocked back into open space where it's taken by Cuervo. Cuervo somehow slips a pass through to Grady Ames. Forward to Spinelli. Spinelli dribbling. Defensive pressure from DeMartinis knocks it away. Bochel recovers, sends in a low bouncing shot, and it's taken by Langone. Langone punts it. Downed by Cuervo, taken for a second, and it is taken by Nicoli. He's got Tillinghast on his back. Gets a pass away out far side to Spinelli. Sent back to Zhang. Zhang kicks it through to the middle to Cuervo, who taps it back to Stern. Stern near side to Rabat. Rabat dribbling. Finds a hole. Tries to push one forward. Lund deflects it away, but Rabat pushes it back forward. Recovered now by Daya, but pressure from Nicoli knocks it loose. Bochel gets it out to Ames. Ames sends it to the middle, and it's knocked away again and cleared out, I think, by Daya. Loose ball chased down by Cuervo, sent all the way back to Spinelli. Jarvis crashing, and McGee, excuse me, I don't know why I said Spinelli, but McGee boots it away. Knocked back offsides Walpole. McGee lining up to take the free kick. Pops it up in the air. Bouncing. And the defender fell over, and they call the penalty on Nicoli for knocking him over. You know, again, it's one of those plays where you could argue, hey, did he do anything egregious for a penalty? But when a guy falls over, if it's a borderline call and a guy falls over, the officials are probably going to lean towards, you know, the guy who fell over is the victim and the other guy is the perpetrator. Free kick knocked away by Stern up to Nicoli. Tapped out for Grady Ames, but gets away from him. Lassard tries to take it away, but Ames recovers. Pass back to Zhang. Zhang sends it further back to Littman. Littman back up to Zhang. Zhang sends it forward for himself, but could not fight through the defense. But now it's a scrum for the ball. Pass somehow gets back to Tillinghast. Sends it across for Del Pico. Del Pico cut off. Loose ball. And they call the penalty for the push on Del Pico. McGee setting up for another free kick. Up in the air it goes. Bouncing forward. In comes Bochelle, but he couldn't collect it cleanly. Chases down the cleared kick, sends it back to Zhang, who lifts one high, and that's going to be well wide of the box. Or well wide of the net, I should say. Out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick. Substitution for Brookline. Nate Lockwood checks back into the game, replacing Grady Ames. This one kicked forward, bouncing along, and it's booted back by Littman. Bochelle's off to the races, but so is DeMartini's, and so is Langone. And Langone wins the race and boots it out of bounds. This is, I believe, Wally Lawrence throwing it in far side. Throws it in, knocked down by Lund and booted out the back end by a Walpole, and that's going to be a corner. No, it isn't. So I guess it deflected off of a Brookline player as it flew out the back end, which, if so, makes that kick even smarter from the Walpole player. Langone kicks it off the head of Henry Ames, off the foot of Giffen. Collected by Potter, pass back, and now a leading kick down the far side, and Lessard didn't have an angle for a shot, tried to cross her, and it was walled off. Now Nicoli sends it upfield for Henry Ames, tries a shot, nobody there to crash for it, and it's scooped up by Langone. Langone punts it. Headed down by Stern. Tap to the middle where it's collected by Ames. Pass back to Littman. Littman forward to Lockwood. Lockwood trying to juke around his man, still fighting through. Gets a pass away, but off the mark, intercepted by Del Pico. Del Pico dribbling down the near side. Trying to go around a pick. Gets around Rabat. Now met by Cuervo, pass to Jarvis. Jarvis tries to send a pass, nobody there, and it's taken by Lockwood. Lockwood boots one forward, no offsides, but Langone beats Bochelle to the ball. Lucas Langone has made a number of tremendous plays to keep this game scoreless. That one's knocked down. Nicoli sends it to the outside to Lawrence. Lawrence going down the far sideline. Matched by DeMartini's. He gets around him. Cutting towards the middle, firing a shot, walled off by Daya. Up in the air. Del Pico heads it down. Collected by Cuervo, given to Bochelle, then back to Rabat. Rabat's pass off the mark. Jarvis intercepts, and he gets the favorable deflection out of bounds. T-Wolves ball. Throw in off the head of Rabat, off the head of Ames, off the head of Bochelle. Ames taps to the middle. Daya kicks it away over to Jarvis upfield, taken now by Littman. Back to Stern. Stern kicks it upfield, deflects up in the air. Bochelle heads it forward, trying to get to Lockwood. Lockwood gets a favorable deflection off a defender, but it is recovered by Langone. Langone punts it off ahead and booted up in the air again, and Rabat heads it away. Collected by Daya, stolen away by Lockwood. Lockwood sends another long leader, but it's again going to be scooped up by Langone. You can see Brookline trying to take advantage of the slower grass surface they're playing on, sending up some leading kicks that won't go as far and players can catch up to them. It just hasn't quite worked as of yet. That leading kick taken off one hop by McGee. Drops it for himself and boots it upfield. Tapped forward by Bochelle, but nobody there. It's going to be boxed out by DeMartinis and scooped up by Langone inside the box. Langone punts it. Bouncing along. Headed forward into the box. Dangerous chance. Potter tries a kick. He's walled. Tries another kick. He's walled. Cleared out of the box by Nicoli. Potter recovers it. Pass back. Crosser sent in. Headed away by Rabat. Couple deflections sent forward by Lawrence up to Nicoli. Nicoli stops, turns around, pass to the middle to Lockwood. Lockwood dribbling against Daya, sends it to the outside for Lawrence. Lawrence stolen away by Giffen, but ran out of room, out of bounds. Substitution now for Brookline. Sebastian Spinelli back into the game, and entering for the first time, number 31, Eli Traub. They replace Eamon Bochelle and Henry Ames. Throw in for Traub. Knocked away by DeMartinis, out of bounds. Another throw in from Lawrence. Headed away. And recovered by the T-Wolves. Long pass up to Potter. Touch pass for Giffen. Gets away from him. And it's booted away by Littman. Off the head of number 16, Sean Hazel. Knocked down and passed forward to Lockwood. Lockwood sends a leader for Traub. Eli Traub dribbling in. Tries a crosser. Stopped by one defender and then booted away by Lunn. Recovered by Littman. Littman tries to send it out near side. Nobody there. Chased down by Del Pico, and Del Pico kicks it out of bounds. Rabat throws it in, knocked away. Gets back to Lockwood. Lockwood fires a floater, and it's caught easily by Langone. Langone punts it. Ball is downed, passed forward to Potter. Potter dribbling against Littman, trying to gain the edge, cuts back. Double team comes. He still manages to get a pass away. Lifted crosser, header, saved by McGee. First really great shot on net Walpole's had so far. Comes off the head of Jarvis, but McGee reacts well and collects the save. Now Brookline moving on the counter. This is Lawrence trying to cut to the middle, poked away by DeMartinis, recovered by Lockwood. Lockwood passes back to Zhang. Zhang's hit up in the air is a little shallow. Off the bounce, kicked, headed away by Martinez, gets up to Giffen. Giffen's pass walled by Zhang. Zhang tries to get a pass forward. It is collected by Lawrence, sent back to Zhang, and now across to Lockwood. Through the middle to Cuervo. Cuervo's pass knocked down by Jarvis. Cuervo recovers and passes out to Rabat. Rabat sends it forward, gets up to Spinelli. Spinelli matched by Lunn. And now that's going to be the whistle for the half. No score at halftime. Brookline 0, Walpole 0. We saw a lot of great scoring chances for Brookline, but a lot of great saves by the Walpole keeper, Lupus Langone. Walpole got the last really good shot of the half on that header by Thomas Jarvis, but a nice save by Jackson McGee kept us scoreless as we go into the break. During this halftime intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the Foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. As the Scholarship Fund approaches its 10-year anniversary, so far, thanks to the generosity of over 140 donors, BCF has raised over $1.4 million in scholarship funding. And just last year, for the graduating class of 2023, they awarded over $180,000 to Brookline High School for scholarships. Your support is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442. And remember, as always, you can find that information, link, and phone number for our local charity spotlight down in the description section down below. Also in the description section, you can find the link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club if you'd like to give support to the Brookline High soccer program. But for now, scoreless at half between Brookline and Walpole. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, live at Bird Middle School in Walpole, Massachusetts. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic, but I'll be back for the second half. Stay tuned. Hello again, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Bird Middle School in Walpole, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the second half of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the Walpole High Timberwolves. We had no scores in the first half. We saw a number of exciting scoring chances, mostly on Brookline's side, but also one or two on Walpole's side, but nothing has found the back of the net as of yet. So let's see if these teams made any adjustments at halftime to try and get a better chance at breaking this scoreless tie. Walpole's been relying heavily on some strong goalkeeping efforts from their man between the pipes, Lucas Langone. Ugh. Meanwhile, the last great save of the half went to Brookline's Jackson McGee. But for the most part, Brookline's done a good job keeping him less than busy back there. Starting the second half, Brookline now on the right, Walpole on the left. Brookline getting us started. Nate Lockwood passes back to Sebastian Cuervo, and here we go. Cuervo disrupted by Potter, but he keeps pushing forward. Sebastian Cuervo misses his shot wide. Boy, that rush straight up the middle seemed to come out of nowhere as Cuervo just ran straight through several deflections from Walpole defenders and rushed right up, but couldn't get a clean foot on the ball and sent it wide. Goal kick from Langone, headed down, corralled by Eamon Bochelle, pass to the far side to Wally Lawrence. Lawrence's pass deflects, being scrummed for, fought for, recovered by Koya Nicoli, fires a shot, goes out of bounds, no deflection, it'll be another goal kick. So Brookline wasting no time going on the attack as Langone sets up for another goal kick. Some bright sun shining through right in the face of the Brookline players now as they've switched sides. Cuervo recovers. Cuervo off to the races again. Cuervo fires! Misses just wide. Sebastian Cuervo coming out this half hotter than a firecracker as he has gotten two great rushes towards the net, but both of his shots have missed wide. Goal kick is going to be taken this time by number 12, Ryan Lunn. Lunn boots this one, goes off the head of Silas Tillinghast, but it's recovered by Jason Rabat. Pass forward, taken by Lawrence. His pass walled off by Neil Mepani. And now cleared up by Walpole, headed down by Rabat. Back kick by Cuervo. Ball is knocked down and recovered by Nicoli. Passed back to Jonah Lippman. Lippman sends one up the middle, walled down. Recovered by Davis Potter. Passed back to Alberto Daya. Sent up near side, and it is recovered. Gaining the edge, and a pull from behind is going to draw a penalty. As Austin Feener was racing up the edge, he was grabbed by Tony Zhang, and that's going to get him a yellow card. Now, the unfortunate thing for Walpole's side is that this penalty did not occur in the box, so it's not going to be a PK. It's going to be a free kick from a bit of an awkward angle here. This kick looks like it's going to be taken by Tillinghast. He set up a couple defenders in front of him to limit his angle for a shot. But he might try and pop one up high. into the box, see if they can get a header. Sends it up high. Header keeps it in. They try and get a foot on it. It's walled off by the Brookline defense and cleared out. Kicked back into the box. Potter chases after it, whiffs on his shot. Taps it back to Dante Del Pico. Del Pico sends a crosser through. Kicked and recovered off the hop by McGee. A wild scrum in the box, but now Brookline rushing on the counter. Long leading kick. Offsides. And so now Brookline was trying to go sort of backdoor, have Grady Ames rush up the field for a kick from the far side, but called for the offsides. And now it'll be a free kick for Walpole. Lunn kicks it off the head of Lawrence, straight up in the air. Bounces back down, now off the head of Cuervo. Fighting for it, it's Lawrence who recovers. Lawrence dribbling, but stolen away by Daya. Pass to the outside, knocked away by Rabat. Rabat keeps it in bounds, but only briefly. This will be a throw-in for the Timberwolves. Up the far side it goes, walled by Rabat, kicked upfield, but again lost out of bounds. Another throw-in. Potter racing after it, and he's boxed out by Oliver Stern. And so this will simply be a goal kick. McGee boots it. Off ahead. Several deflections and a penalty called on Potter. Brookline rushes the free kick out to Nate Lockwood on the near side. Lockwood passes back to the middle to Stern. Stern disrupted by Tillinghast, and he has to pass it back to Lippman. Lippman sends it back to McGee, who boots it upfield off the foot of Feener. Feener recovers it, dribbles towards the middle. Sending a through pass, gets to his man, but he couldn't collect it cleanly. Disrupted by several Brookline defenders as they try and force it out. It is ultimately corralled by Lockwood. Lockwood dribbling against 3 Timberwolves, and it's stolen away, taken by Feener. Feener pass to Potter on the outside. Potter across or into the box, headed away by Lippman. Booted upfield by Lockwood. Boschel downs it. Tries to touch it back, but nobody there. It's taken away by Thomas Jarvis. Sends it forward for Feener. Offsides called. Free kick for Brookline. It's going to be taken by McGee. Boots it out far side, off the head of Lawrence and forward. Racing after it is Grady Ames, trying to keep it in. He cannot. Another goal kick. Substitution checking in for Brookline for the first time today. Number 12, Gabe Spaggett into the game. He replaces Koya Nicoli. Lunn will take the goal kick once again for the T-Wolves. Launches it up the middle. Downed by Cuervo. Cuervo sends it forward. Spinelli racing after it, but Del Pico gets there first, trying to move it out to the sideline. It is lost out of bounds. And it looks like he couldn't get it out the sideline. The forward pressure from Sebastian Spinelli forced it out the back line. This is going to be a corner kick for Brookline. Looks like they're going to have Spinelli take the kick. No, it's a bit hard to see. Spinelli boots it in. It's down inside the box, but kicked out by Del Pico. Spinelli corrals it in bounds, fakes, cuts into the box, trying to force his way through, and it's kicked out the back end by Del Pico. Brookline wanted a handball called in the box, but did not get that call, and so it's simply going to be another corner. Spinelli sets up for another corner kick. This one comes in high. Header goes the wrong way. Back to Bochelle. Bochelle gets it through! Unless there was a deflection at the end, that goal was scored by Eamon Bochelle. Let's check out the replay. It's going to take a few seconds as we see Spinelli setting up for the corner. It comes in high off the header. It was knocked back. Bochelle kicks it. And I don't think there were any deflections. I believe that is a goal for number 10, Eamon Bochelle. Pass goes back to Daya. Now, no longer a scoreless game. Brookline with the 1-0 lead off the goal from Eamon Bochelle. The assist, I believe, goes to whoever's header ended up getting deflected back to him. So I'm going to have to check out the replay again to figure out who that was. In the meantime, play continues on. Lockwood pushes it forward. It's recovered by Mepani. Sent back to Langone. Langone pops it up in the air, but it's shallow. Awkwardly deflects and taken by Mepani. Sent forward. Now a pass back to Daya. Sends it upfield. Cut off by Stern. Stern sends it back to McGee, who waits for it and pops it up in the air. Spinelli downs it, but it's stolen away by Feener. Feener pass to Daya. Pops it up in the air. Off the head of Spaggett and draws the over-the-back penalty on Del Pico. The free kick from McGee sails towards the box, caught by Langone. Crashing for it was Grady Ames, but there wasn't really much he could do there. Langone punts it, bouncing towards the box, headed forward, but not enough force on it, and it's taken easily by McGee as no one was there to crash for it. McGee rifles it in to Lawrence on the far side. Lawrence gets himself set before that kick. It's deflected back by Grady Ames and collected by Lockwood. His pass knocked away by Tillinghast, collected by Jarvis. Walpole rushing on the counter. Jarvis cuts towards the middle, cuts back. Pass, offsides called on Tillinghast. 1-0, the Brookline lead. I'm going to see if I can take a look at who headed that one. Bit hard to see. Camera's moving too fast. That's one assist I'm gonna have to figure out like on the frame for frame when I'm going back and looking at it later. But the goal was scored by Bochelle, and it is a 1-0 lead for Brookline here in the second half. McGee boots it up the far side off the head of Mepani. And brief collision for the ball. Lockwood swoops in and kicks it. It's knocked right back, taken by Cuervo. Touches it back to Rabat. Knocked out of bounds. Brookline ball. Throw in. Downed. Grady Ames fighting, shot walled by Hosseini, I believe, and knocked out of bounds. It was either, no, it was Daya, excuse me. Another Brookline corner. They've scored once on the corner. Corner kick comes in, and it's knocked out of bounds by the defense, and that'll be another Brookline corner. And so Sebastian Spinelli gets set right back up in that far side corner. Kick comes in low. It's deflected high in the air by Giffen, and it's caught by Langone. Jonah Lippman was waiting for that one, hoping he could head it in, but Langone got to it first. That one off the head of Lockwood, out of bounds. Throw in up the line, deflected Giffen. Giffen still with it, sends past the middle, cut off by Spinelli. Spinelli, after a couple kicks, manages to get it upfield to Lockwood. Cuts to the middle for Ames. Ames battling with Feener. Feener wins the battle, gets it back to DeMartini. Sends it forward off the head of Spaggett. Recovered by Cuervo. Cuervo boots it up the near sideline. Kicked back. Recovered by Cuervo. Cuervo collides hard with Daya and is going to be called for the penalty. DeMartini's going to take the free kick for the T-Wolves. Up in the air. Header. They wanted a push call, did not get it, and it's recovered by McGee. McGee boots it. Headed down. Chased down by Ames, but his pass off the mark, out of bounds. DeMartini throws it in for Giffen, who tries a pass, knocked down by Spaggett. Pass to the middle to Cuervo. Cuervo lifts it up to Bochel. Bochel biding his time. Pass to the outside to Spinelli. Spinelli cuts across, tries a pass for Bochel, but it's walled off. Now off of several weird ricochets, it goes back to Bochel. Bochel fends off DeMartini's, tries a crosser, and it's knocked out of bounds. Another Brookline corner. Got a sub checking in now for Brookline. I believe this is Henry Ames coming in, replacing Wally Lawrence. As Brookline gets set for another corner. Looks like they're going to have Bochel flanking Spinelli this time, or maybe not. Kicks it in high. It's out of Langone's hands. They're trying to clear it, and they do clear it out. Back to Rabat. Rabat dribbling, fires a shot, walled by Giffen. Rabat fights through him, tries another shot, walled again by Lund this time. And it is recovered by the Timberwolves. Feener kicks it upfield. But first to the ball is going to be McGee as he scoops it up. And McGee kicks it, headed down by Lund, rolls out of bounds. Rabat throws it in, finds his target, pass knocked out of bounds, still Brookline ball. Rabat throwing it into the box. Header from Lockwood, knocked down, kicked, it is in! Grady Ames! 2-0 as Brookline again triumphs off a scrum in the box. Let's take a look at the instant replay. Rabat threw it in. It first went off the head of Lockwood, was walled down, but then Ames just got his foot on it and kicked it in. Grady Ames off the assist from Nate Lockwood makes it 2-0, the Brookline lead. This one kicked forward and back, and ultimately winds up at the foot of number 14, Andrew Miles. Miles kicks it, goes off the foot of Rabat, recovered by Giffen. Pass goes back, I believe, to Del Pico, and it's knocked out of bounds by Cuervo. A 2-goal lead now for Brookline. 1 goal each from Eamon Bochelle and Grady Ames. Tapped back and forth, popped up in the air, headed down. Recovered by Lockwood. Now sent forward, this is Bochelle, sends a pass to the outside, finds an open man. Henry Ames' kick flies out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick. And we've now got a timeout called by Walpole. Let's check out the replay of that second goal once again. First the throw in, and then just deflected off the head, walled down, and then it was Grady Ames, number 17, stuck his foot out and got that one in. And yeah, even as I try and look at the replay on my own, for the first one, I cannot tell who got the assist on Bochelle's goal. But the assist on Grady Ames' goal credited to Nate Lockwood, who just barely got his head on the ball, deflected it forward where it was knocked down by the Walpole defense, and then just left in a spot where Grady Ames just stuck his foot out and kicked it. Almost gave like a side kick to knock that one in. 2-0, the Brookline lead as they are trying to hold on, get back in the win column after losing each of their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4. Walpole trying to get back in the game, down by 2. Lunn going to take the goal kick out of the timeout. Up in the air. Booted back by Grady Ames. Off a couple heads and booted away by DeMartinis. Couple of kicks, couple of ricochets. It winds up with Miles. Miles kicks it out to Giffen, gets away from him. And chasing after it is going to be Rabat. Slide tackle by Del Pico, and it stays in bounds as Del Pico fighting for the ball, trying to keep this on the attack. Not a lot of room as he continues to battle with Rabat. That goes off the flagpole. And it looks like they've called it Brookline ball, and it'll simply be a throw-in. Rabat throwing in, off ahead, out of bounds. Another throw-in. And Giffen couldn't keep that one in bounds. It'll be Brookline ball again. Throw in. Bouncing forward, hard collision. And they're going to call the penalty on Lunn as he knocked over Cuervo hard. Cuervo still down on the ground there, and we'll see if they're required to make an injury substitution. The Walpole players were trying to argue that Lunn got there first and that Cuervo ran into him, but the tricky part of that is that Cuervo's the one who got to the ball first. And the general rule of thumb when it comes to these penalties is whoever gets ball when there's a collision, whoever gets ball is, seen as the victim of the penalty, whereas the other player is going to be seen as the perpetrator. So Cuervo is walking off on his own power. This is going to be an injury substitution. He looks okay, and certainly we hope there's nothing wrong long term as he's going to sub out. Brookline gets ready to take the free kick off of the penalty. Having a little trouble reading the jersey number of who is taking this kick. Is that Gabe Spaggett? Having a little trouble. Kick flies in, and it's caught by Langone. So the free kick shot from Gabe Spaggett is saved by Lucas Langone. And Langone punts this one. Off the foot of Fiener, off the head of Eli Traub, collected by Henry Ames, passed back to Koya Nicoli. Nicoli sends it forward, walled off by Lunn. Lunn dribbling, sends it out far side. Giffen sends it forward. Loose ball knocked loose, and it's collected by Lockwood, passed back to Lippman, sent upfield, headed down, recovered. Grady Ames sends it forward for Traub, knocked away by Lunn. And this one's simply going to bounce out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in, goes to Lawrence. Lawrence loses it out of bounds. DeMartinis throws it in off the body of Fiener, then off the head of Hazel, and Fiener gets it, sends it forward to LaRusso. LaRusso down the far side, turns around, gets around his defender, sends in a crosser, knocked back, almost recovered by Giffen. Giffen does chase it down, pass it back. Del Pico kicks it forward and out of bounds. Peter LaRusso had a nice rush down the near side, had a nice move sending it through the legs of his defender, and his crosser almost found its target, but just barely missed Nathan Giffen, his intended target, and so they couldn't get a good shot on it. Throw in, bouncing up to Traub, but it's knocked up in the air, headed forward, kicked back by Nicoli. DeMartinis chasing it down, kicks it away, but right to Spaggett. Spaggett kicks upfield. Traub slipped and fell and can't chase after it as it's booted away. Gets up to Fiener. Fiener against Spaggett. Spaggett knocks it loose and steals it away. Sends it forward to Ames and then outside to Lawrence. Lawrence winds and kicks one. Crashing in is Henry Ames. Misses wide. I'm not sure if they called him offsides anyhow, but either way, that is going to be a free kick for Walpole. Boy, we almost had one goal from each of the Ames brothers. Wouldn't that have been fun? This one kicked upfield, off the head of Hazel. Chasing it down is Fiener. Cut off by Lippman. Out of bounds. That'll be a corner. Still 2-0, the Brookline lead here in the second half. I said before we don't have any scoreboard clock or anything here, so we'll only know once this game is over, once the official gives us the triple whistle. Silas Tillinghast setting up for the corner. Into the box it goes, a little high, and it's caught by McGee. McGee now punts it across the field, bouncing along off the head of Hosseini. And Lawrence taps it to the near side to Grady Ames. Ames trying to fight around Hosseini. And Hosseini walls him off. Dribbling away. Lawrence trying to cut him off, but he gets a pass up to Feener. Feener tries a pass. It's disrupted by Lawrence, recovered by Lockwood. Sent back to Stern. Stern kicks it forward off the head of DeMartinis over to Feener. Stolen away again by Lockwood. Lockwood upfield finds Henry Ames. Pass goes back to Stern. Stern staying with it far side, but Giffen wrestles it loose. Walpole trying to race through. Oh, lost the ball, and it's kicked away. Kicked back forward by the Timberwolves. Rabat cutting it off, gets tangled up, and draws the penalty. McGee setting up for another free kick for Brookline. This one kicked upfield, headed back, I think by Hazel. Scrum for the ball, knocked away from Potter, but goes back to Daya. Past the outside, stolen away by Ames. Henry Ames on the far side. Sorry, sent a crosser through, walled off by Lunn. Lunn kicks it forward to Daya. Daya trips up Henry Ames, and that is going to draw a penalty. And so another free kick for the Warriors. They're going to set up Spaggett to take this one. We'll see what they decide to go with here. They had him fire a shot direct at the net his last time on the free kick. This one lines in, and it's headed away by the defense. That'll be another Brookline corner. Substitution checking in for Brookline, replacing Koya Nicoli, is going to be number 19, Travis Applebaum. Corner comes in, headed away. Grady Ames tried to deflect it, but it's chased down by Tillinghast. Tillinghast cut off by Lockwood. Lockwood takes it away and starts dribbling. Pass up to Applebaum. Applebaum kicks it forward, and it's booted away by Lunn. Gets to DeMartinis. DeMartinis kicks it towards the middle. Lawrence takes it and fires, and it rolls wide. Lunn to take the goal kick. Boots it. Off a couple heads. It's taken by Hazel. Popped out far side. Now they send it forward for Potter, but it's kicked away by Stern. Throw in to Potter. Passed back to Del Pico, who kicks a crosser off the foot of Feener, and it's caught by McGee. McGee punts this one. Bouncing, chased down by number 4, Rohan Brown. But Walpole gets the favorable deflection, and this will be another goal kick. So Brookline bringing in a couple of seldom used backups here to get some playing time here with a multi-goal lead late in this one. Nice to see the senior Rohan Brown and the sophomore Travis Applebaum getting some minutes here today. Goal kick, off ahead, out far side, headed forward by Brown. Kicked upfield by Tillinghast. Chased down by Rabat. Rabat, kick goes out of bounds. Walpole ball. Throw into Tillinghast. Tillinghast tries to push it forward. Rabat disrupts again, takes the ball for himself. Kick gets the favorable deflection. It'll be Brookline. But it looks like we've reconnected. Not sure if, I don't know what that was. That was weird. McGee kicks it upfield, knocked away. Now downed by Stern, sent up the line to Brown. Brown forward, chasing after it, I think, is Grady Ames, who draws the corner kick. Deepest apologies for the brief cutout there. I don't know what that was. But Brookline setting up for the corner. I think they've got Spaggett kicking this one again. It's getting dark out here. It's getting harder to read the jersey numbers. This one comes in high, knocked down, and forced out by the Timberwolves. Kicked back forward by Lippman, but taken by Tillinghast. Tillinghast leaves it, sent forward to Feener, and then up to Tillinghast. Tillinghast sends it out far side, aiming at Miles, but misses. And a scrum for the ball along the far side, out of bounds, T-Wolves ball. Throw in, goes back. Now a kick into the box, and it's going to be caught easily by McGee. McGee punts it, headed down, deflects up in the air. Lippman kicks it, goes off ahead, bouncing along, deflects forward, but it's booted up in the air by Del Pico. Knocked down and taken by Tillinghast. Tillinghast trying to race upfield, but the ball wouldn't come with him, and they're going to call a penalty on Rabat for the hold. Looks like they've got Dias setting up to take this free kick. It's at a decent distance for him to just take the shot himself. Sends it in, walled off by Stern. Kicked back forward by Tillinghast. Kicked back by Stern again. Forward, one defender stops it. Hosseini prevents Traub from getting the breakaway. Throw in for Potter. Potter kicks to the middle, knocked away by Lippman. Out of bounds again. Substitution on both sides now. I'm having trouble reading the numbers, but I think Brookline might have subbed in number 18, Ben Speicher. Throw in on the far side, kicked away by Rabat, recovered by Daya, kicks it into the box, and it's a point-blank save by McGee off the foot of Feener. I'll tell you, McGee hasn't had to make too many saves today, but he's made a couple of nice ones. He's filled his quota with about 2 highlight-worthy saves for the game. Walpole rushing on the attack again. Pass goes up to Feener. Feener tries a pass, and that's either a goal kick or an offsides call. Another sub coming in for Brookline, replacing Grady Ames. I believe that's number 6, Santi Sierra. McGee boots it upfield for Brown. It's knocked away from him. And knocked back and forth. Sierra pushes it forward to Brown. Brown trying to send it forward, booted away by Hosseini. Rabat chases it down. Miles manages to send it upfield, but out of bounds. Not sure what that pause was for. There's the whistle. Throw in, up to Brown, and off his head out of bounds. Throw in, knocked out of bounds by Rabat. Throw in. It's controlled by Walpole. Pass across the field. It's collected by DeMartini, sent forward to Feener. Feener leaves it to the outside. It's knocked out of bounds. Still Walpole ball. DeMartini throws it in. Tried to pass forward. Potter trying to force it through. It's knocked away. Recovered by Brown. Disrupted by Daya. Pass back to Lunn. Knocked away from Lunn by Brown. Chased down by Hosseini and booted back upfield the other way. Racing through his Feener. Gets a shot and another diving save by McGee. McGee had to stretch every inch of his length and wingspan for that one. But he got his hands on it and snagged it. Upfield, off the head of Brown, and booted up in the air by Lunn. Down, kicked forward. Another race for it. It's Feener again. Feener sending a crosser to the box. Deflects, stays in the box. Stern collects it and clears it. Upfield, goes off the head of Hosseini, and Lunn takes it. Kick upfield, intercepted, but recovered by Daya. Pass the outside, cut off, but fighting through is Del Pico. Del Pico still fighting through. Pass forward. Finds his target. That's Miles past the middle. Intercepted by Brookline, by Lockwood. Now Lawrence passes back to McGee, who boots it up in the air. Bouncing along. And some pressure from behind by, I want to say, might have been Speicher. Forced that one to be out of bounds Brookline ball. I'm having a doozy of a time trying to read the jersey numbers on the far side, folks. The light is fading out here in Walpole as the sun sets beneath the clouds. Or rather, I should say beneath the tree line. Throw in. Knocked away. Off ahead. And bounces out of bounds. Throw in. Down the far side. And they call a push in the back on Brookline. That'll be a free kick for the Timberwolves. They rush the kick. Deflected down by Lawrence. Scrounging for the ball far side. I think that was Sierra and Miles fighting for that one. It goes out of bounds and is Brookline ball. You can hear a lot of the Brookline regulars cheering on some of the backups who are getting a chance to play as they reverse the call, actually. It's now Walpole ball. Throw in. Bit of a scrum for the ball. It's knocked away by Brookline. Kicked back by Del Pico. Collected by Potter off the deflection, but Potter swarmed by Warriors defenders, and it's kicked away by Lawrence. Another throw-in for the T-Wolves as that bounces out the back end, but they call a penalty on Brookline, and so this will be an interesting angle for a free kick for the Timberwolves. Might be their last best chance to prevent the shutout. They send it in high, and it's headed up in the air by Brookline. They try and head it forward. It's cleared out, but a kick comes back in, deflected wide. Scrumming for the ball still as Brookline draws a penalty and gets the free kick. And there is the triple whistle, and that is your ball game. The final score, the Brookline Warriors 2, the Walpole Timberwolves 0. Brookline improves to 5-6 on the year with a much-needed win after suffering back-to-back tough losses. They get a nice bounce back here. Walpole falls to 3-5-2 on the season. But as a Division II team facing a Division I team, I think they can still hold their heads up high. They gave Brookline a fight. Goals for Brookline both scored in the second half. The first one scored by Eamon Bochelle. Not sure who assisted on it. Again, I'm going to have to go back and look at that one. But the second goal of the game, scored back when the skies were a little brighter back in the second half. On this play, the goal would be scored by Grady Ames. We check out the replay one last time. The throw-in from Jason Rabat went off the head of Nate Lockwood, deflected down by the defense, and then Grady Ames just reached out and kicked it in. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. If you enjoyed today's live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. And if there's anything you'd like to say but the live stream is concluded, then you can say it in the comment section down below. You can also go down to the description section down below for some helpful links and information. You can see a link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports both boys and girls soccer at all three levels. So if you want to give some financial support to Brookline Soccer, you can do so through the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club. You can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. Find out how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. You can also go further down the description section or check out the bottom right corner of your screen for more information about me. The URL to my personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. If you want to skip past all that, you can simply email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. Final score, Brookline 2, Walpole 0 from Bird Middle School in Walpole, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.